Hey Wargamers, welcome back to the channel Death from Above Wargaming. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are back with HyperPulse Uplink number 4. This is the second, Kevin, this is the second video in our mission series. So guys, if you haven't watched HyperPulse number 3, check it out. We are releasing 4 brand new missions. These are very exciting. And we're on our second one here. So this one, Kevin, is called Battle Lines.
Yeah.
And this one is it's squarely your creation. Actually, this was, I think, the one that really jump-started this new mission pack. So why don't you take us through this beauty of a mission? Tell us what was percolating in that mind of yours when you came up with it.
Well, hopefully this mission doesn't fail miserably in playtesting. Otherwise, it's my stain. But yes, Mission Pack A, Mission 2, Battle Lines. So, right, this one sort of spawned from an idea that I wanted to have sort of like I hate to use this analogy, but sort of like a football match, right? Where it's like a back and forth, sort of an alternating attack defense, where it's sort of the flow of the battle sort of ebbs and flows with attacker and defender. And instead of using just physical objectives like a base or, some planted or some fixed objective, it would be sort of a line that would move as you sort of took advantage or captured a particular quadrant area, right, sector. So we basically just came up with it spawned with I was thinking like the front line of a battle, right? Like two lines. I'm thinking like World War I, like these two lines are facing off, and that line, and maybe a stalemate for a while, but then there's sort of like that push and ebb and flow of the line where they're sort of entrenching themselves. So that was kind of where it came from, and we really just said, how do we develop a line? And we just sort of came up with 5 objectives sort of spread across the median, and then with our typical capture mechanic, and then once that capture occurs, you get to advance it. I think we said, is it 6 inches at this time?
Yeah, that's right.
And the idea being that, right, if you control a majority of the line, 3 objectives or more, you're going to push that line forward, or if the other team does, they could push it back. So you could really overwhelm your enemy and really just drive them off the board, in which case we have a total victory, the routed special rule, right, where you can just drive them right off the map and win it. But I'm hoping and I'm expecting there to be some ebb and flow, as sort of, even if you're on the defensive and you're getting pushed back, you might just start to focus fire on their enemies as they're trying to advance and dig in and maybe take advantage on one objective or something like that, sort of push the flow back the other direction. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this mission was a really unique idea. We've played a lot of different war games. I've never seen a mission like this one, where, that has that sort of moving battle line. Very cool concept. The other important thing, Kev, that I think I like about this mission is, in addition to the standard capture mechanic, we have this sort of, we call it like an overrun rule. So as to kind of keep the battle line moving, if an objective is contested, right, the tiebreaker is size. And even if you're playing classic, right, you would just basically figure out the size rating of the unit by the Alpha Strike calculation. Light mechs are 1, medium mechs are 2, heavy 3, assault 4. Same thing with, vehicles, aerospace, right? And so if, I have 2 assaults on an objective, that would be like 8 points basically of size. If you have 5 lights, it's no good. I'm basically winning that objective. So there is a bit of, this overrun concept, which I really like, so that you can't just swarm a battle line with a bunch of hovercraft or, things like VTOLs, right? I mean, you're going to need some meat to really push this thing forward, which I thought was very thematic to this mission. And the other thing is, right, we talked about Alpha Strike. We didn't mention this in the last battle report, but all of these missions were developed also with Alpha Strike in mind, right? So whether you're playing 12 on 12 or 8 on 8, or you're just doing a 4 on 4 with Classic, the sort of the strategic tactical value of this mission, really is the same. I'm very interested though in a 4 on 4 with Classic. you only have 4 dudes for 5 objectives, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be real smart about where you put, how you position. Do you want to spread out? Do you want to, take the center 3 or the right 3 or the left 3, right? Or do you want to kind of hit the flanks in the middle differently? So it's going to be interesting to see, how that plays out too.
Yeah, and I think, we can maybe put it in as a tip. It's not really going to be a hard rule, but I would suggest to anyone that's playing with just like 4 units or like a classic BattleTech game with, 6 or less, maybe trim off the 2 end objectives and just go for a 2 of 3 for the 3 middle objectives, so it's more focused and still keeps the same sort of mechanic going, but maybe not as spread out where you have to have like 1 unit on one of the 5.
Right. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. I think when we play test it, right, that type of stuff will shake itself out. But yeah, I mean, that's a great idea, right? Just trimming it down to 3 and kind of do the best of 3 for the for like a small match. That would be cool too. I mean, either way, I think this one's going to be really fun. The routed special rule is an automatic major victory. So if you manage to win that line, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row, and you're able to push that line all the way, then it's over. So it's automatic win, which I think would be very difficult for any team to do unless there is some serious attrition coming out of the gate, right? But it'll be interesting to see, how that goes. So deployment for this pretty standard, right? Just move on from the table edge. Other than that, this is I think this is a good contender. This is going to be a solid mission choice. When we sort of started to look at where we wanted to put this in the campaign, I think this is going to be one that comes up a lot because it does have, I think, a lot of reusability, right? It's just a very like sort of meat and potatoes type of mission.
The other thing I think that makes this one interesting is, so the initial thought is that you'd want to bring heavier mechs, or right, you want to work with your size in sort of what you bring to the table, but the challenge there is most often they'll be your slower mechs, and you also have to get from your edge to the objectives. So if you work with something faster, you might get that initial push, 1 or 2 moves into the enemy territory if you work with faster units, something lighter, something with more speed, just to get to the objectives quicker. So there's that interesting balance, right, where maybe heaviest isn't always the best. You sort of maybe want to mix so you can have something that can reach the objectives first and get that initial capture underway, or at least initial contesting.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of dimension to it, so it's exciting. And I do really like that size component, because there are, like bigger mechs, like heavy mechs that are really fast but not so great offensively, that'll play an important role here. So it'll be interesting to see how we decide to craft forces around this type of thing. We'll certainly be ziplining infantry in on every objective, so just infantry swarms everywhere. All right, so that wraps up our next HyperPulse here, battle lines. So guys, keep your eyes out for this one. This is going to be a really cool mission. So Kev, next up we got another mission.
Yeah.
But guys, before we get there, don't forget to subscribe. Click that little bell icon. Check out our website. Follow us on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. We're everywhere now. It's exciting times, Kevin. It's exciting times for Death from Above Wargaming. But yeah, guys, so thank you very much. Have a good night, and we'll catch you soon.